forecast first from KARK4, your weather authority.
We've got a beautiful evening lined up for all the folks here in Arkansas. We're looking for clear skies through midnight. Temperatures falling down to the upper 40s by the 12 o'clock hour. Tomorrow morning, maybe a shower, 44 degrees. If you like the weather today, you're going to love tomorrow, and you may be tempted to go for a swim in the pool on Thursday. We're going to have a forecast that'll take highs to near record levels. All those details are coming up. KARK4 News at 6 starts now.
Coming up, where's the doc? That was the big question today in Dumas after a popular doctor in the area is let go without cause. We investigate why. Plus, just days after a body is found inside a barrel in Sebastian County, autopsy results reveal who the victim is and who will be charged with murder. And the budget battle continues at the state capitol.
These are real dollars that are really going to impact people.
We're live as Republicans continue to push their budget plan despite a warning from Governor Beebe. These stories and more coming your way. It is Tuesday, February 21st.
Now, from the station you count on. In-depth investigative coverage of today's biggest stories. This is KARK4 News at 6 in high definition.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Bob Clausen.
I'm Jessica Dean. Hundreds of patients cut off from their primary doctor in Dumas. This after the hospital fired him without cause.
Dr. Peter Go has been practicing medicine in the Delta for 31 years. Now his patients are fighting for answers and his job. KARK4's Brittany Johnson went to Dumas. She is investigating Dr. Go's termination and the impact this is having on people there.
I had a baby. And 3 weeks after delivery, I woke up one morning and I couldn't move. It appeared that I had had a massive stroke.
Iserene Spinks Brown is describing one of the worst experiences of her life. She was 25. After 2 doctors told her she was going to die, she came here to see Dr. Peter Go.
He said, oh no, he said, she's not going to die, not right now.
His patient for nearly 30 years now, she's standing with others with similar stories.
I had an appendectomy, and he saved my life. Because if I had tried to go to Little Rock or Pine Bluff, I probably would have died.
All determined to save his job.
This is a poverty area in southeast Arkansas. We have a hard time getting good physicians.
On February 6th, Delta Memorial gave Dr. Go a 60-day notice terminating his employment, access to his clinic, and the emergency room, leaving patients in limbo.
We have people with ongoing problems with ongoing treatment that are suddenly cut off.
The hospital offered to pay Dr. Go for 60 days, but said his services were no longer needed, and he can only serve patients who are admitted to the hospital.
My case, having surgery just 4 weeks ago, if I go to having complications, who would want to take that?
The hospital administrator says Dr. Go's patients can see other doctors. They denied our request for an interview, instead sending a hospital employee across the street with a written statement that read, quote, any allegations that the actions of Delta Memorial Hospital are preventing Dr. Go from providing care to his patients are incorrect and misleading. Some patients disagree.
He needs time, and we need time to make an orderly transference.
And are vowing to fight until they get answers or his job back.
Dr. Go saved my life. And I just feel like I owe him and the community a great doctor.
Now, Dr. Go's attorney has filed an injunction. They're hoping to get the court to step in and help reinstate him, at least for the 60 days he says is written in his contract. They're headed to court tomorrow.
And Brittany, you hear the passion in these people's voices, but they're not just going to want to go see another doctor, it sounds like.
They're not. A lot of people might say, why not go to another doctor? There are others at the hospital, but for these people, it's about trust. He has served their families, some people for 3 generations, while the hospital says they have personnel reasons why they're firing him. For these people, that's just not enough.
All right, Brittany Johnson, thanks so much.
One of Arkansas's top hospitals tightening its belt. UAMS Medical Center has lost more than $3 million this fiscal year, but Chancellor Daniel Ron is confident that they can cover the shortfall without layoffs. KARK4's Adam Rodriguez joining us now live from UAMS with more on all this. Hey, Adam.
Yeah, Bob, and $3.6 million does seem like a lot of money, but it's just a fraction of the hospital's $550 million budget. But they are confident that they can break even by the end of the year.
This afternoon, we talked to Chris LaRue. He got pretty banged up Sunday when the bus he was riding on hit the brakes to avoid an accident. He didn't have insurance, so he went to UAMS Medical Center to get fixed up.
right now with the economy the way it is, I think there's a lot of people out there in my situation, and more every day, as a matter of fact.
Medical Center Chancellor Dan Ron says they're seeing more and more patients without insurance and fewer patients overall. That dug the hospital into a $3 million hole, but he says they can make it up by streamlining operations, cutting overtime, and leaving empty jobs unfilled, all while avoiding layoffs and not compromising on patient care.
Quality patient care, education, and research is what we're here to do. And so we have to be very careful that as we make these adjustments, we don't have an adverse effect on quality.
And Ron says that uninsured patients have higher hospital bills. It's kind of an ounce of cost prevention. You know, if you don't get that prevention, you have to pay for a pound of cure later down the line, and that ends up being a lot more. In fact, they told us today that they had to pay $175 million out of pocket for uninsured medical expenses. Reporting live in Little Rock, Adam Rodriguez, KARK 4 News.
Adam, thank you very much. We have learned a body found inside of a barrel in Sebastian County is that of a missing Van Buren teen. The State Crime Lab says the remains are that of 16-year-old Angela Allen. Her body was found last Friday in a wooded area off Highway 96 near Lavaca. The State Crime Lab lists the cause of death as strangulation. Allen went missing the week before her body was found. The discovery made after a police investigation revealed she had met 36-year-old Lloyd Jones through a social networking site. Jones alerted authorities to the area where her body was found. He is now charged with her murder.
To a KARK 4 News update now, as an officer with the Hot Springs Village Police Department resigns through a letter published in the local newspaper. He's leaving due to concerns over how the department handled investigating the disappearance of one of their own. In his letter, former Officer Dale Anderson says he has zero confidence in the department and its leadership following the investigation of dispatcher Donna Natsky's death. Tonight at 10, we're going to hear from the department's chief and members of the POA there in Hot Springs Village to find out if they plan to investigate this former officer's concerns. Sharp County deputies say they've arrested a man after finding his stepdaughter chained to a bed. It happened in the small community of Ash Flat. Deputies say that this man, 48-year-old Michael Gilman, told them he chained her up because she had issues with getting up and wandering around at night. He added the girl was always let go from the chains in the morning. Law enforcement were called to that home after the stepdaughter called 911 from the bed where she was bound. Gilman now charged with 2 felony counts. All the children in that home were taken into child protective custody.
Arkansans needing a different kind of help filled the halls of the Arts and Crafts building at the State Fairgrounds today. Thousands of people who came through are applying for assistance with their heating bills. LIHEAP, the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, held its mass intake today in Little Rock. Applications are being taken again tomorrow from 9 until 2 at the State Fairgrounds. Make note of that. They're also happening around the state throughout the week. You can find locations by going to our website, arkansasmatters.com. When you get there, click on the hot button.
If you felt the ground shake early this morning, no need to worry. You weren't alone in that. The U.S. Geological Survey confirms 2 quakes hit today. The latest was at 11 this morning. Its magnitude 2.4. But the tremor that could be felt in 4 states was a 4.0. It hit at around 4 this morning in the Missouri town of East Prairie. So with the New Madrid fault in our own backyard today, we asked an expert, is there reason to worry?
This is a pretty standard activity. The New Madrid seismic zone has been the last 2-3 years has been probably a little lower in activity than typical, but this is not too unusual.
This early morning quake could be felt in Missouri, Illinois, Arkansas, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Only minor damage, though, was reported.
No quaking going on the state capitol, at least not just yet. Governor Beebe, though, very concerned about what state agencies say would happen if the budget proposed by some House Republicans passed. KARK4's Lauren Traeger joining us live at the Capitol as another day of the fiscal session ticks by without a budget. Lauren.
Yeah, that's right, Bob. The budget battle continues, and both sides say the discussion debate is a good thing, and there is lots of hope that they're going to reach a consensus before the end date they've set for themselves, March 2nd. Now, the governor open to a further study of just a few areas, but for the most part, he's still standing by his $4.7 billion proposal that has just a few increases.
It's a flat budget, so it's not like we're increasing their money. We're not.
But in favor of less spending, some House Republicans have suggested shaving $21 million from Beebe's budget, in part by a 3% reduction in the budgets of 11 state agencies. Last week, the governor asked those agencies to study the impact of cuts. Tuesday, he said most of their replies concerned him. One glaring worry: in all, state agencies said they'd have to axe at least 61 jobs, including some recently rehired forestry firefighters, employees in county health units, at the Department of Emergency Management, and in the state crime lab. Economic development, too, the governor said, would suffer. House Minority Leader John Burris, though, says the discussion's far from over. He's still confident the state will end the session a little leaner.
So I think it can be done. It's my hope that it can be, but at the end of the day, it's going to take agreement to get anything done, and that is important. But I think this can be done without major interruption in services.
And Representative Burris has said there's no rush in all of this. Let's just go ahead and take our time. Other leaders, though, are saying they're hopeful the budget will at least be able to move forward in the process sometime before the end of the week. So, of course, we'll be here. We'll keep an eye on it. Reporting live at the Capitol, Lauren Traeger, KARK 4 News.
Lauren, I know we're only at Tuesday. Any concern that the session may be extended?
At this point, no, Bob. They have set a date for themselves of that March 2nd. Of course, they have a little bit of cushion time if they need it, but they are still hoping they'll get it done. But we do have 8 business days before March 2nd, so still lots to do.
All right, Lauren, thanks very much.
Coming up, a farmer in White County now getting help following a KARK4 investigation. We're going to have the details on that rocky situation after the break.
Well, our warm-up continued across Arkansas today. In Little Rock, our high temperature topped out at 67 degrees, a full 10 degrees above our normal high of 57. We're into the 70s tomorrow and a near record high near 80 on Thursday. But then the bottom falls out. Details are coming up.
You're watching KARK 4 News at 6 with Bob Clausen, Jessica Dean, Chief Meteorologist Keith Monahan, and Sports with Carrie O'Hara.